if you watch the Guilty Pleasure anime again, it will show you some of them, because Comet Lucifer is another one. There's a lot of shows like that where they're not good shows, but I like them because they have a fun, wholesome energy to them, which I appreciate. Alright. Anyway, so, hello everybody. Sorry, we were just discussing anime. But good to see you all. Thank you so much for tuning in once again to the Fire Emblem Darius the Conqueror live stream. Hope you're doing well, having a lovely, lovely, lovely day. The creator is back with us once again. Zane, thank you ever so much for tuning in and helping out. I very, very much appreciate it.
And I very, very much appreciate you for playing this, as always.
Thank you ever so much. It's good to see you all. And also, I don't know if you're watching, but Bright Sky, thank you for following after we wrapped up Tomb Raider yesterday. Yeah, thank you ever so much. Mwah. Right, so last time we left off, we saved the princess, we saved the king, and now Darius the Conqueror is gonna conquer his first stronghold, so it's all coming together.
Yes, indeed.
So let us make haste. We also got a thief on our side. Yeah, so let us make haste and start. Let's get to conquering, shall we? Good to see you, Tackle. Right, let me just get rid of you first, because just fuck it, man. No one can outspeed, hold on, yeah, Persephone.
Mm-hmm.
You're disappointed with the Crash Nitro Kart bosses? Well, yeah, the game is piss easy, and the boss fights are also really easy, and the characters are not memorable either.
I was gonna say Crash Nitro Kart. That's the
PS2 one, not tag team racing though. It's not tag team racing.
Okay.
It's.
I heard that game's kind of meh.
It is kind of meh. It's got some good stuff in it. It introduced some. The course design is great. Some of the new mechanics are really cool, and it has some nice ideas. But the driving is slow and doesn't have much weight to it. It's way too easy, and it's just. And it's also a bit buggy.
Yeah.
So that's that. There. That as Sonic says, that's no good.
Indeed.
Holy shit! I can one-shot this dude.
That's polish for you. He's got the puissance skill, so.
Yeah, god damn, man. Just a fucking steel axe away.
The puissance skill and 70% strength growth. That he's almost capped, actually.
Hoorah. Hoorah. Now the question... I'm a little worried. I can rescue him out if need be, so I'm just gonna wait here for a bit. Again, these iron daggers, man, they fuck shit up.
Yes, they are very useful weapons.
Yes.
More useful than the blades, which I replaced them with the daggers.
Ah. I can't steal... What? Wait, steal? Has he got like a vulnerary? Yeah, just vulnerary. Again, don't worry, we got plenty of those. I need to steal one. So that won't kill him. That will, but fuck it, I'm gonna use the dagger. Why? Does that little bit more damage.
More damage, the faster they die.
True. Also, just, you know, it's a bit, just in case something goes wrong, it's more reliable. But you have 100% hit. Don't assume anything, man. I'm waiting for the day where I get 100% miss in Fire Emblem. It's gonna happen one of these days. I bet you it's gonna happen one of these days.
I mean, we already did get 100% miss the last time you played a ROM hack.
Wait. Did we?
Yeah. That was a thing in one of the chapters of Black Dragon, is that somehow you managed to miss a 100% attack.
I must have blanked that from my memory.
I remember it very vividly because the chat blew the fuck up.
They would. It's 100% miss. It's like, wow, when we thought Engage was bad. Zane saw that 100% miss and it's like, that's it, go move on to a different game. Thank you for the stream streak, Zenny. That's a whole week. Yeah, so it's not a bad game, Crash Nitro Kart. It's just not perfect. But again, Crash, what's its face? Crash Nitro Fuel takes a lot of stuff from Nitro Kart and just improves it. So, you know, even though it wasn't perfect, they did learn from it and they took the best bits. And again, I like when game companies... It's the same with Wrath of Cortex. Not a perfect game, but, you know, they learn. And that's what matters.
Makes you wonder what might happen if game companies actually bothered to try and take games that had solid foundations but didn't quite do things that well, and actually remake them. Cough, cough, Metroid Other M.
Well, that's the thing. Well, Other M also, that's another, also, I could see Armory. Chris? I think you might get the name confused. Unless you're referring to somebody else in the chat.
Yeah, Armory. This fellow is Lewis.
Yeah. Again, confusion happens. Anyway, but as I was saying, they did take stuff from, what do you call it? They did take stuff from Other End for Dread and for Samus Returns. Mainly just like the counter attack and the cinematic, where Samus does like a cinematic super attack. Good to see you, Nintendo. Yeah, they definitely took stuff from it, but I'd like for them to remake Other M. I think there's some cool ideas there, or something like that. I think, you know, it's not on my like top of the priority list for remakes, but I think it would be cool.
I mean, it's more so just I want another game that kind of at least plays like Other M. Like maybe not necessarily an Other M remake.
Oh no, but yeah, try that engine. Yeah, very much so. I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one thing about Other M.
I remember seeing a comment back in the day that it was on a gameplay video of Other M, and this one commenter said, I mean, this game would have been so much better if it was in first person and Samus didn't talk, and I was like,
that's Prime.
No, that would just make it a clone of the Metroid Prime game.
Exactly, it's like, oh, this game would be so much better if it was like this other game that existed. That's Metroid Prime!
I know. That's the one thing that has always driven me nuts about Other M and the way people react to it. And I'll admit, I have not played Other M, so I can't like comment for certain. Mm-hmm. But the one thing that's always driven me nuts about Other M discourse is that so many people act like because the game has problems, it means that its ideas are just inherently bad ideas. And I look at those takes and I'm like, no, that is not how this works at all.
If anything, it's opposite. Other M has lots of great ideas, just very poor executed. It's got some bad ideas too. Authorization was a dumb fucking thing. But no, it's got some really good ideas. That's why they followed up on those ideas in Dread and whatchamacallit, in Dread and Samus Returns. If they weren't good ideas, they never would have brought them back. And also, Makoto, yeah, generally speaking, Other M is a good game and has some really good gameplay, amazing production values, and stuff like that. It's just not a good Metroid game, and the dialogue and story is fucking atrocious. That's the thing. If you went into Other M not knowing what Metroid was, you'd think, story's not that much, but the game is a shit ton of fun. But if you're a Metroid fan, you're just like, this is way too linear, it's way too scripted, and you just bastardize Samus Aran. I mean, to be fair, it's really bad bastardization. My siblings and I agree that when it comes to the top 3 most assassinated characters in fiction, Samus Aran is one of them. Other M was that bad to her character.
Yeah.
The other 2 are Indiana Jones and Luke Skywalker.
I'm gonna say this right now. Do not shit talk the Star Wars sequel trilogy in my presence.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I think what they did with Luke, I did not like what they did with Luke, and I don't like a lot of things about the sequel trilogy, but I'm one of the people who sees some genuine merit in it, and I don't think it's the worst thing to grace the Star Wars universe.
Okay, I have to get this off my chest right now. Mm-hmm. I acknowledge that the sequel trilogy is very, very flawed, and a lot of it doesn't work, but I can't engage with it because the way the fandom reacted
was pretty bad, yeah.
Actors of the sequel trilogy, and I have never been able to get over that. I have never been able to get over it.
Well, yeah, I know, I see what you mean. Yeah, the way, I mean, to be, yes, very true. The whole, what they did to the actors was awful, especially Rose's actor. And the saddest part is, this isn't the first time Star Wars fandom has done this. Jake Lloyd had to stop from acting because of what happened, and Hayden Christensen got a lot of shit too. And it drove him away from acting for a while.
And it sucks because, like, people feel so compelled to, like, jump to the prequel's defense just purely to stick it to the sequel trilogy, and that has always driven me nuts.
Well, it is a mix of things. I think some people do that. Like, so the prequels are kind of seen with rose-tinted glasses. Granted, in some cases they have aged better, especially, I went back some time ago and watched episode 3. This is someone who has not watched the Clone Wars. That also helped too, the Clone Wars exists. But going back and watching episode 3, even without Clone Wars context, it's really fucking good. Like, goddamn. Episode 1 and 2 definitely have their problems, no doubt about that. And I do think that there's a lot of rose-tinted glasses for those two. Granted, I still like them more than I used to, but there's problems with episode 1 and 2. I mean, for God's sake, man, Jar Jar alone, you know, that is a grave sin. But I do think people, for the sake of shitting on the sequels, over-embellish the prequels a bit.
Yeah, I know, and I hate that. It's like... And the worst part about the sequel trilogy hate is that I feel like so many people... I really do feel like a lot of the sequel trilogy hate just comes down to, you know, people being upset about, it just comes down to people being upset about the increased amount of minorities and but haters of the sequel trilogy, They go through so many hoops to like try and convince people that no, that's not it. You know, we'll argue for like what counts as like making a good female character, and it just drives me insane.
The discourse is quite insane. It makes Fire Emblem fans look tame in comparison. I mean, Star Wars Star Wars is something people are very, sometimes dangerously passionate about. But yeah, and I'm not saying the sequels aren't without flaw. No, trust me, they got flaws. But it does feel like the hate towards it at times does feel kind of... I thought that guy was asleep. Anyway, does feel a little bit like ridiculously overblown. It feels like the sequels actively kill one of their family members, which is not the case.
You know, and that to me is the big problem with like why I can't engage with a lot of criticism of the sequel trilogy is because I just have it playing in my mind that like, oh, you don't like minorities and women.
Yeah, well, no,
it's totally unfair. I acknowledge that is totally unfair.
Ooh,
but it's like one of those things where I kind of just can't help myself. Yeah, and admittedly, that's just a problem. That's just a problem with me in general, is that I have a bad habit of sometimes trying to moralize people's taste in media. I did this for a lot of stuff with the Fire Emblem community as well, and I kind of regret it. And it's hard to do because, you know, we like to think of, you know, media and, you know, games and movies and books and stuff as kind of safe topics to talk about, but
well, generally speaking, one of those things, they are meant to be.
Yeah, they're generally meant to be, but at the same time, they are meant to be, you know, representations of people's values. Mm-hmm. And so when you have people who are blatantly disrespectful towards a piece of media that has your values, you know, people get defensive as they would be if you talk about, you know, politics or religion. Yeah,
very, very true. But it all comes down to, like, well, in your case, they're saying disrespect. And again, that comes down to the way people communicate things. Because often, people, especially on the internet, they are very blunt, tactless, and rude about it. And that's why a lot of people get so defensive, because it feels like a personal attack on them, because the way things are worded is so antagonistic and bitter and stuff like that, when most of the time that's not their intent, or for some people it's not their intent. But if you don't communicate properly, which sadly a lot of people don't do, that's what it comes across as. Communication really adds to a lot, and a lot of discourse can be avoided if you just get your point across in a way that is, you know, respectful. That's all it has to be. Because like you were saying, Zane, like, you don't like to engage in discourse about the sequels. But, like, if you just talk to someone, I get what you're saying, but, like, if you were talking to me about it, you know, I can respect your opinion, absolutely, and I'm not someone who's, like, just super against the sequels. I have problems, but I can also respect this, that, and the other. It comes down to person, but when you've been burnt so many times, it's understandable as to why you have a general disconnect with an entire fandom. In fact, there was a thing going around on Twitter recently where it's like, it's the Squidward meme where Squidward gets out a deck chair, ready to enjoy the sun, and then he goes back in looking really bored. It says, the series, the fandom, and some people put it best.
I love that meme.
All of them, where it's like, every series is great when you're experiencing it by yourself. The moment the fandom gets involved, fuck it, it's the most annoying thing ever. Granted, I don't agree, I semi-agree with this, because I've said many times, like Son Call Me Johnny says, any series can be great as long as they're not being dicks to one another. Hell, the reason you and I are here is because we are both Fire Emblem fans and we both became friends over Fire Emblem. Goes to show. But because of how society is, because of how people act, and especially because of how internet culture has conditioned our brains to communicate, or lack thereof, instead of bringing out the best in community, we all just act like a bunch of savages.
Yeah, I know, and that's the tough thing, is that I have this theory that I've kind of been workshopping for a while called the I don't actually have a pithy name for it,
right.
But it's the idea that the more people there are in a fan base, the worse that fan base is on average.
Yeah. Can I actually contribute to that? Sorry, I was going to say.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So, well, that's very true, because the more people you have in a fandom, the more chances you have of having bad people in a fandom. So that goes without saying. But George Carlin, the comedian, philosopher, however you put it, he put it best. You can see the beauty in an individual, but the moment groups are involved, the collective intelligence just drops. So the bit more people within the group, the dumber and more vile they get.
Exactly, because the larger a group that comes about, the more chances. It's not just. Well, I don't think it's necessarily that it's just a case of the group intelligence drops. It's just that the more people you have in a space, the higher the odds that somebody is going to be a douche.
Yeah, absolutely.
And again, when you have a fan base that is as large as the Star Wars fan base, that means that you're going to have so many chances for individuals to be, shitty to people, and that just all adds up to, a large chunk of the fan base seeming, completely intolerant and stuff.
Well, that's why, because the majority of people in a fan base are good people. We're just very quiet about it. But that's why fan bases get bad reps. You get a couple of bad eggs. But again, the good people don't usually speak up. They just get on with their lives and they like it as it is. The bad people always speak up. They are the loudest. They are the village idiots, and they are the only ones being put into the public eye, and that's why people have these bad things about them. Because if you think about it, yeah, there are a lot of crappy Star Wars fans, but think of how many amazing Star Wars fans are out there doing passion projects, writing material, helping on the movies and all that jazz, and so on and so forth. There's a lot of amazing people out there, but the amazing people we just get along with our day and go about our business. Whereas the assholes make a song and dance about it, and now everyone thinks we're terrible. It's like Smash Bros. There's lots of wonderful Smash fans out there. I've met many of them, but a lot of the people, again, the fan base has a reputation because the most vocal people are horrible, and it doesn't help that a lot of the top players are also horrible.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, with Smash, I mean, it's the same thing with the League of Legends fan base is notorious for people clowning on them, and that's a case of when you have a game that's at a high level competitively, people are gonna get competitive. Yeah,
naturally. Doesn't mean you have a right to be an asshole, though.
Yeah. Well, the Smash fandom has other problems, like
hello, Silver, good to see you.
It's got a lot of discourse around sexual misconduct by some top level players and shit like that.
And body odor. Never forget the body odor.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where and that's why I do value having a friend like you. It's just
Thank you. I value you as well.
And like I didn't necessarily want to get into this whole Star Wars discourse thing, but like it was one of those things where it's one of those things like I just had to say my piece, because one thing that I want to try doing this year is being better about not bottling my emotions up.
I see.
And the trouble with that,
I say it's being more open and so on.
Yeah, exactly. And and speaking my mind and getting things off, getting things out of my mind that I feel like are harmful to me. And the trouble with that is that, the amount of places that you have where it's healthy to do it can sometimes be rare.
Well, in fact, that's one of the main reasons that, a lot of people go into, especially when it comes to men, especially because, well, generally speaking, men are generally ostracized for being open and vulnerable. More so as a growing up thing, kind of like it's a cultural thing where men and boys are indoctrinated to very much bottle up their emotions, tough it out, and do all that jazz, that type of thing. And especially now, there's a real crisis going on where men are not allowed to express themselves because often either people can't, well, it varies from every person to person, but generally they feel they either just like they're not taken seriously or they're clowned on for doing so. So why express yourself if doing so ends up for the worse?
Yeah, exactly. And but the thing is that you also have to express yourself in a place that's healthy,
Yeah.
And sometimes the things that I want to talk about that are bothering me the most are things that are, political in nature, or they're just something that it's hard to find a good space to discuss it with people who are both knowledgeable and will respect my feelings.
Yeah, knowledgeable and open-minded. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, it's not easy to come by any, it's definitely not. Good to see you, Ryuki. Well, we're just doing more conquering, as you will. So what I missed? Well, we're conquering.
We are attempting to capture the castle. And to answer your question, Greeper, my ranting aside, I am actually having a pretty good day today.
Yeah. Well, again, it's just things we like to talk about. That's what makes these streams interesting. Again, like I said, you learn stuff on these streams. Instead of staying in school, stay on Twitch, kids. Stay on Twitch. Yeah, unfortunately, Twitter is the kind of place for toxic discourse at the moment, and it is very unfortunate.
Yeah, Twitter is best used in sparing amounts.
I only use it to let people know about stuff or occasionally post things. But literally, if you look at any of my Twitter timeline, it's just like, oh, I'm going live for a stream.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I ain't got nothing wrong with that.
Anything lighter you want to discuss? I finished watching Freerun today, and it was very good.
Yeah, that's the anime. You probably have all seen it social timeline. It's like with a white-haired elf, which has kind of got like a deadpan expression. Yeah.
Yeah. It's Freerun's basic plot is it's about an elf who, I mean, some of you have seen it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's basically about an elf who was. Well, you know what? I probably shouldn't even explain it to you, Lewis, because you're a Giguk fan. You've seen his videos on it.
Well, that and also Azorus watched it and he said it and he told me the general plot and yeah, I know what it's about.
Yeah.
But also, we're going to take a very quick break. We'll see you all in a sec.
Yeah, I find that I don't know why, but like the animes that I'm most interested in nowadays is my God, what am I trying to say?
The animes that you gravitate towards these days.
Yeah, the anime that I seem to gravitate towards these days are like either romances or just generally very chill shows.
Nothing wrong with that. It's always good. Again, trust me, anime has a certain way of romanticizing romance shows, and they make them very endearing. Oh shit, reinforcements. Not only that, but in a world that we currently live in, where things are very dire and there's always bad news everywhere, sometimes you need that kind of romanticism escape. That's why, again, sometimes wholesome shows are just really, really nice. Right, Finger's got work to do. Oh shit. Oh, hold on. Who's this? Griffin Knight. So that's Griffin Rider. This is a Griffin Knight.
Yes, that is the promoted version of the Griffin Rider class.
Gotcha.
Or at least one of the things they can promote into.
They've all got bows, but I'm gonna do this. Right. Can I get down there? I can. Cool. Let me heal you first. Yeah, a knight with a bow versus a flying unit with a bow. Oh boy. And this is not heroes, remember? They don't have super effective arrows.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy stuff, crazy stuff. Again, I like romance anime quite a bit. I like, especially if it's done really well, because this anime is like the anime that you're talking about, Fear and stuff like that. It's doing well in spite of its genre, because some animes do well within their own genres, whereas other animes do well because they're just really good overall. For example, like obviously shonens tend to do Demon Slayer. Like obviously shonens do well generally just because people are shown as a popular genre. But stuff like Demon Slayer became a worldwide hit because people just really liked it, even if you weren't into shonen. The same way, well, Attack on Titan and stuff like that. Again, it broke out into the masses because it was just really, really damn good. People liked it, genre notwithstanding. Same with Haruhi. Haruhi was a slice of life thing, which is definitely not like the most uber popular genre in anime. It definitely has its fan though. But that became huge. Another example, back in the 90s, Evangelion and Gundam Wing, they were mecha animes, and mecha was in a better place then, but they became super huge, in spite of being mecha anime. So yeah, speaking of which, who's got the Rider's Bane? Ah, you got the Rider's Bane.
Yeah, but Freeman has definitely become like one of my favorite anime of all time now. And then I also earlier this year caught up on Kaguya-sama, which is also one of my personal favorite anime.
It's so funny because it's like, just fucking kiss already!
Oh, Kaguya-sama is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
I love it so much, especially Ian Sinclair has definitely become one of my favorite English voice actors because he's just the dude. Like he has such a great range. He can do comedy. He can do he can do serious stuff. He's the English voice of Berkut.
Oh yeah, he's great. Yeah, we've seen his performance. That's the one, to this day, that's the one thing nobody bashes when it comes to Echoes. Because I know there's people who don't like Berkut, I know there's people who don't like the game, but everyone admits he was the best actor in that game. He was the best actor in that game.
I think Berkut's a fine character.
But, I like him a lot.
Ian Sinclair definitely elevated his performance.
Yeah, you really see just how broken up he is about everything. Yeah, exactly, Ryuki. Isekai people didn't really care for, and then saw it online. It's like, yo, by the way, we're literally gonna take over the whole 2010s, and you're gonna hate us for it. No, because remember when Isekais were fucking everywhere? Oh boy, that was crazy. You get an Isekai, and you get an Isekai, and you get an Isekai.
I actually had an idea for an Isekai type story where it would be a girl goes to a fantasy world, but the twist would be that she would kind of go back and forth between the real world and the fantasy world. So, and the other thing was that because she was hopping between real world and fantasy world, sometimes the fantasy creatures would end up in the real world.
And all sorts of shenanigans.
Yeah, it's not the most original idea because Inuyasha kind of did something similar, but
I take it but with this one, I imagine the creatures are more random and stuff like that, so there's a lot more like chaos.
Yeah, a bit more. And to answer your question, Greeper, I do very much have anime waifus. Holo's a big one from Spice and Wolf.
Oh, Holo the Wise Wolf, yes. Damn you, Potato!
Yes. But my all-time, I think my favorite, and probably she will be my all-time favorite, is Marin Kitagawa from Dress Up Darling.
Oh, she's the blonde-haired one.
Yes.
Ah, yeah, she's got them vibes. That's all I'm gonna say. She's got the vibes.
She's got vibes, and she doesn't mind. She doesn't mind stripping in around her man.
Yeah.
So. Marin was kind of designed to be waifu bait because. Yeah, she's basically. She's basically like
a supermodel.
She's a supermodel quality girl who is into anime and video games and porn.
Yeah, so she's literally a perfectly constructed girlfriend.
Yeah, pretty much.
She's very manufactured.
Yeah.
Also,
but she works, Yeah,
it works. Again, the show's very aware of that area, and it works with it again and stuff like that. But she can't cook, so. I know there's that
she does try to learn how to cook, at the very least.
Honest to God, I know that there's that whole thing about, you want a girlfriend who can cook, but I'm going to be real with you. If you have a girlfriend that cooks, or a partner that cooks, wonderful. Learn how to cook your fucking self, though. You're not going to be with your partner forever. Learn how to make a damn meal. And trust me, it's very, very, very rewarding to know how to cook.
If I may butt in for a sec, I think that the two promoted enemies of those of that set of reinforcements have items that are either droppable or stealable.
One's stealable, one's droppable. I'm not too fussed though, because it's only a talisman, and frankly, I don't want to have to lug her all the way here while dealing with a paladin.
Alright. Fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, that's just me. Anyway, in the meantime, what, do I have air caliber? Wait, what do I only... Oh, right, I'm not close enough. Sorry, the tiles kind of confuse me. I do have air caliber. That's some nice damage. Anyway, so let's just deal with each of them first. So I'll snipe you out the sky. Actually, hold on. I've got the hunter's bow, so that does... Oh my god! That's a lot of damage. Alright, let's take this bit by bit. Let's wipe out the easy enemies first, then save the super effective weapons. Just like
insert flex tape meme.
Yeah. It even works underwater! Bloody hell. Right, I've got the Rider's Bane, so I should be able to... Oh, yeah, well, I've got a Zambato! I've got a Rider's Bane. Fuck!
Can't kill me with a Slayer weapon if I kill you with a Slayer weapon first.
His Slayer weapon only does 9 damage. Mine does 40.
Okay, what the fuck is going on with Twitch? Like, I've been... so I'm watching the stream through Twitch. And every time I get an ad, the fucking ad freezes and just refuses to play, so leaving me cut off from the stream footage.
That is so odd. Also, I do have a pole axe. Sailor Moon redubbed? More than likely, it is one of the most popular anime ever. But can we get an F in the chat for this, dude? Sorry, this shit's funny.
Targoch is a powerhouse, man.
And this guy's got a Lance Reaver. Good thing I got an axe. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Now die. Oh. Sorry, I love when super effective weapons in Fire Emblem actually act like super effective weapons. Much as I love every 7, man. Literally, in every 7, Heavy Spear's useless because Silver Lance does the exact same thing, even against like knights and generals, only with more accuracy. I'm not kidding.
Exactly. I think that Path of Radiance also has it so that
it's only double.
So effective weapons only deal double damage.
I think so. I'm not sure if they changed that in the Japanese version, but I think so too. I can't confirm though. I'm pretty sure that's the case. All right, so they're dealt with. Now we've got to get rid of the rest of y'all. Go for it. Yeah, having super effective weapons only do double damage is really, really redundant. I mean, come on, man. They're super effective. The whole point of them is to just decimate your enemy.
And Tackle's saying that yes, it's 2 times
okay.
2 times effectiveness in POR.
Well, Tackle confirmed it, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here. You heard it here and now. But that, you know, obviously having super effective weapons not do triple damage is ridiculous. Because again, it's like it only doing double damage doesn't make much of a difference because most again, one of the trade-offs with super effective weapons is that their base damage is not very high, but to make up for that, they do triple the damage against the right classes. Hence why you know, focus on fighting, using them against the right classes. But if it's only 2 times, then it's, again, it just you might as well just use a stronger weapon with better hit rates. Wait, the Rider's Bane doesn't work in FE1? Oh, good old NES.
Good old NES jank.
Yeah. It's like Final Fantasy, how half the items don't work. Or like
Armory,
oh, go ahead.
Well, Armory, I think that the main reason they did it for FE7 was that it was the first game released in the West.
Yeah, so they probably wanted to make it easier. But even then,
they may have just wanted to make it easier for Western fans, but like, I kind of feel like it. I kind of feel like it's just not as good of a way of doing things.
No, I would have. You know what I would have done to please both camps? You play on hard mode, it goes back to super effective.
Oh, it goes back to 3. That would actually be a good fix.
Yeah, because most veterans are going to want to play on hard mode. Oh, the Japanese version is 3 times effective. There you go. So if you played it on hard mode and they jacked up to 3 times, then it adds a new layer of strategy. Because the one thing I do like about FE7 hard mode, specifically Hector hard mode, while the XP gain is annoying as hell, and while the guided maps are stupidly like hard, at least it changed up the enemy formations, which does make a difference. So having the super effective thing also adds more variation, because for me, when it comes to Fire Emblem hard modes, I like Fire Emblem hard modes that actually change things up in terms of the enemies you fight, maybe certain instances of like new events, and so on and so forth. That's why, even though generally it's not very good, I do like how Path of Radiance Difficult gives you the full Ashnard battle. There's a reason to play it.
Yeah. And Path of Radiance's hard mode actually does a few things, if I'm remembering correctly.
I can't remember too many. The Ashnard one is what sticks out to me the most.
And so, I mean, it's the most obvious bit of it.
Okay, so hold on. Mithril Lance and the Spear, so... Axe.
Yeah. So Castor and Darius do have talk conversations with this boss. If you're up for checking them out, but
gotcha.
Up to you.
Oh, Castor, yes. Oh, yeah, I'll see. I mean, if I can, I can. Alright, heading down this way. Anyone else? Oh, you need to... yeah. Get rid of that bloody poison. That's the thing. I think Sacred Stone still had 3 times super effective, but I can't. That's the thing. It's so on and off. I could have sworn most people say FE8 had triple, but there are times where I swear I've only done double, but I could be misremembering. I think FE8 does have triple.
Well, this hack is running off of the Sacred Stone's engine,
so there you go.
It has triple effectiveness, so there's your answer.
that answers your question. Yeah, but no, FE9 and Thing are the only ones with double. Granted, it's only 2 games in the series that only do the double super effectiveness, but it sticks out like a sore thumb. But yeah, this map is proceeding very smoothly.
Very smoothly.
Yeah. I mean, it's the first big event, man, and you did pretty damn well. You threw some enemies in, it's like, you don't fuck with me, dude.
I know, this is... Well, part of the issue is that, you know, I play with arena abuse, and I designed these level layouts and enemies based around, you know, your characters being a bit higher leveled.
Yeah. Well, don't remember tackle. I've got to seize the map in order to win. So, again, I'll get the chest. It's just, you know, focus on the enemies first. Mm-hmm. How did effectiveness and crit work in the card games? I can't answer crit. I think effectiveness was the same. But then again... No, because, yeah, they had to. He said FE1. I think it was the same, triple damage. I can't speak about the crit engine, though. I don't even know how crit works in Fire Emblem now. Because that's the thing. The one thing that's always confused the fuck out of me with Fire Emblem is how luck and skill works. Because apparently skill determines crit and luck determines hit rate. I always thought it was the other way around. Because that makes sense, if you ask me.
Well, I think that skill determines both hit and crit.
Okay.
I think and luck, I believe, is supposed to determine both your avoid and
critical
and
avoid.
Your ability to dodge crits.
Oh, so it's avoid and critical avoid. That's the thing. I hear conflicting information all the damn time. And to be fair, maybe different FE games use different engines. So, you know, when it comes to different calculations, when it comes to that.
They probably do things a little bit differently depending on the game. But I can't necessarily say for certain. I'm not super versed in how every game in the series is coded.
So you can neither confirm nor deny?
Pretty much, yeah.
Right. Oh, I didn't even know I had a conversation with you. Anyway, let me just get a quick level up. Ow.
You've got a few supports. I think Darius and Targaj have a support, and Farron Sylvandos have a support.
Mm-hmm. Again, Knight's looking real good.
Untendo, Viper was technically recruited at the end of the last chapter.
Is Viper the thief?
Yes.
Oh, here he is. Yeah, here she is. Oh, no. Oh, wait, that's Sue.
It kind of looks like a splice of Sue's.
Yeah. Alright, and let me just double check any... Oh, right, you're close. Fuck his life up. Oh, God. One of those quickly becoming my favorite just because fast mage go brrr.
Pretty much.
Hey man, she's kicking so much ass. Can't wait to promote her.
Untendo, she is of the same fictional race as Thanatos, but that's really the only connection they have.
Yeah, they're the same race, but they don't really know each other.
Yeah, but they can support with each other.
Yeah. Speaking of support, yeah. How fare you this fine day? Again, the brutes just speaking so Shakespearean. Oh, what oh, good old chap, how art thou doing? Well, I just slammed my axe down into an archer and took out his entire life. Oh, how spiffing, I do say.
Yeah, Pollux is definitely a very gentle giant type of character.
Hey,
support with Lysander is basically about the two of them. Is Pollux being able to, get birds to eat out of his hand, and then I really like this support chain between Pollux and Targa because it gave me a chance to write like a little write like a little myth and legend type story for the world and have some world building.
Though his ancestors were like slaves for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, they are both very peaceful men. And again, Gentle Giant is one of the most beloved archetypes ever, and for a good reason. It's a funny juxtaposition, and it's very endearing.
I mentioned this before, but one of the big themes of the story of this hack is, the concept of, masculine identity and healthy masculinity.
Oh yeah, like these two being very open and supportive of one another, well, and not being afraid to express themselves despite the fact they look like brutes.
Yeah. Pollux is a very big muscular man, but he's also very calm,
well spoken. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, again, that's one of the things these days. It's not bad enough that many forms of masculinity are condemned. Now, granted, some of them deserve to be, especially the more extreme reigns, because obviously my whole thing is the idea of toxic masculinity and toxic femininity is when you take masculine and feminine traits and you push them to an extreme and then they become toxic. Because I guarantee if you think of any toxic masculine trait and you reel it back, it stops becoming toxic. The same if you take any good masculine trait and exacerbate it, it becomes toxic. But as I was saying, it's bad enough that masculinity is condemned, but often good masculinity and good masculine figures are not promoted enough in the general viewing public, which is a real shame. I mean, we all know about what masculine people not to be, but what about what masculine people we should be?
I know, exactly.
There's tons.
I mean, there are great examples.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people will point to Aragorn from the Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings in general.
Or just Lord of the Rings in general.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings in general is fantastic. We'll talk more about this when we come back from the break. But yeah, Lord of the Rings is one of the best ones because it shows various different layers. Like, obviously, different people will interpret it differently. Aragorn, it's kind of like he's got that great leadership quality while also being very solo and stoic, but also but he also has his own insecurities. He's very insecure about the fact that he has the bloodline of what's his face?
Of Isildur.
Isildur's bloodline, the reason they're in this shit to begin with. But he's eventually able to come over that. It's the same way Samwise, his loyalty to Frodo is beautiful, not out of like romantic obligation, just purely out of romantic interest, just purely out of friendship and loyalty and love. The same way Frodo's able to remain uncorruptible, or mostly uncorruptible by the ring due to his innocence and his overall just faith in everything. And also Theoden is like that very much parental father figure type thing.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I love I'm not a huge fan of the actual Tolkien books because his writing style can sometimes be a little cumbersome to get through, but I love hearing people talk about and discuss the themes of Tolkien's work.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, again, yeah. It's like, oh, this stuff is wonderful to understand. It's like the Bible. Oh, the Bible is so cool to go into the stories of things. Have you actually read the damn thing? No.
And to be honest, it's kind of like a lot of, classic
Shakespeare's
and
the same.
well-respected literature.
Shakespeare's the same. I like some of his stuff, but at the same time, some of the shit I read is like, the fuck is this guy saying?
Shakespeare is one of the few that I both like. I enjoy. I actually enjoy the writing itself, and I enjoy hearing people discuss the themes.
Yeah, that's cool. I think Shakespeare, it depends. When did Tolkien live? Tolkien lived after the Second World War. He's like in the 40s. 50s?
I think Tolkien lived through both World Wars, but don't quote me on that. I know he fought in World War II.
Yeah, I wouldn't be. Oh, that was a wonderful level up, by the way. Oh, we are maining the fuck out of you, honey. But no, Tolkien. Well, just Untendo, if anything, go look up on Google. That will tell you. The internet will tell you. But no, like, but going back to the whole masculine thing, there are many great masculine figures, but they're not promoted enough. Hell, one of the ones that has been in the public eye for years, especially when this series was at its peak, Steve Rogers is an amazing masculine figure. And it's not because, it's not because, I fight Nazis or I'm super strong. No, Steve Rogers, what makes him so great is that he has integrity. He sticks up for people he cares about. He sticks to his ideals. He's unshaken in his resolve and his dedication to his friends and to his ideals. And that's a great masculine trait to have. That loyalty, but that steadfastness.
I see so many people, citing Steve Rogers, Captain America, as like one of their favorite characters.
Well, MCU one especially. I think the MCU did a great job of Cap. Mm-hmm. Like, the MCU did a great job of a lot of characters. Cap is one of them. Again, hell, Fire Emblem's got a lot of great masculine figures. Two brilliant examples, Eliwood and Hector. Eliwood, he is like the pinnacle of chivalry, and you can see that in their dialogue. He's very understanding. He wants to know the enemy. He wants to actually understand them. He is very calm. He is very respectful. He has lots of integrity, and he sees the best in people when it comes to his supports. He shows great masculine traits then, but he's also not afraid to, be upset and be all that jazz. Hector, while he is brash and he is brutish, he has unshaking loyalty to his friend. He will do whatever he can to protect his people, and he will go out of his way, no matter how difficult the task, to ensure that it gets completed. He has this resolve to him that is incredible. Hector's writing, while it's not as obvious as Eliwood's, it's amazing still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Hector's maybe not as lawful good as Eliwood, but he's still a good guy.
Well, he's not he's not a stereotypical Fire Emblem Lord, but he's still a very good man. Right, cool.
It's tough because I do feel like a lot of Fire Emblem main characters are kind of cut from the same cloth.
Yeah, they kind of follow the Marth archetype.
Yeah, they follow, the Marth archetype of, the very morally upstanding character, and that's fine and all, but at the same time, it kind of does leave a lot of them feeling just very samey.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, so for Castor, if you want to get his battle quote, I would recommend
Javelin.
Just attacking with a javelin and then cantoing away.
Yeah, as you do. Hit and run, as they say. Yeah. A nice halberdier sprite, yeah.
Yes, this is another Neuramon sprite for the halberdier. Yeah. It's actually meant to be like the sentinel from Radiant Dawn.
Mm-hmm. Wow, he refers to his niece as a whore. Yeesh.
Yeah, so we kind of talked over this in the last chapter, but Ulysses and Castor have a conversation here where basically Castor was the son of Severus, the boss of this chapter, or the son of the niece of the boss of this chapter, and she got pregnant by a wandering bard who ran away.
Yep.
And basically Castor got treated very poorly as a kid because he was a bastard child.
Yeah, he was a bastard child.
Reaper, thank you very much. I'm glad you think so.
Oh wow, I can't outspeed. No, I can. I just don't have the thing. Oh, only one.
Oh yeah, the boss, the song that plays for the boss battle of this chapter is probably my favorite song that I composed for this project.
Gotcha. Curious as to how I'm going to beat it. I mean, I've got the Rider's Pin.
Pastor's grandfather, grandmother. I believe so.
kill you.
Oh no, he's the brother of... Okay, yes, it's... I got confused for a second there.
I'm just wondering how I'm going to take this guy down. This guy is surprisingly bulky. I mean, I've got magic, but still, he's still pretty bulky.
Yeah, halberdiers are pretty tough nuts to crack because they have they have a skill that boosts their defense and res on when they're attacked.
Okay, wait. So what if they initiate though?
If they initiate, yeah, well, they do have.
If foe initiates.
Yeah. They do have, they also do have innate crit, because one thing I did for this is that if there's a class, if there's a character class that only wields one type of weapon, you know, the Swordmaster, the Sniper, the Berserker, and the Halberdier, they all have a little bit of a crit bonus.
Which is good, I'm down with that.
Yeah. That was my big thing when designing classes for this hack, is that I wanted every class to have at least something that they could point to that could make them potentially useful.
Yeah, an extra crit extra crit does count.
Does count for something.
Yeah. And you said Darius has a conversation with him as well.
Yes.
Cool. Fall before my spear. You can't reach me.
Something Dynasty Warriors, that one Dynasty Warriors character. Another has fallen to my spear.
I was speaking of, feel the power of my magic! Oh boy. Dynasty Warriors voice acting, you gotta love it.
You flaming idiots!
He's like, you motherfuckers! You wouldn't be laughing if I had a 2 to 3 range spear! Yeah, just chip away at him. Just chip away at him. Ah, I missed that time. Oh well. Well, halberdiers aren't difficult to balance at all. Halberdiers are pretty straightforward. Just make them sword masters with less speed and more defense, and spear based. Simple. It's like berserkers. Make them sword masters, but not as fast, not as skillful, but stronger and axe based. They're not difficult to balance at all. They're just, for some reason, Fire Emblem has a thing against foot spear classes for some fucking reason. I never understood why Fire Emblem was so against it.
It's more of a thing in like older games because, you know, nowadays, you know, even Engage had halberdiers. Yeah,
but like Engage had it, but even Three Houses didn't really have halberdier. They had soldier, but after that, it was pretty much if you were spear based, you were either Wyvern Lord, Peg Knight, or some sort of paladin.
Yeah, pretty much.
And like, yeah, Hoshido had Spearmasters on, but Norians didn't get any of that. They had knights, but you know, we've had knights for years. Oh, yeah,
well, in that case, it was just they wanted to give, you know, the different roots, you know, unique class identities.
Yeah, Awakening didn't have halberdiers either, which is again dumb. We didn't get halberdiers until, well, technically we had them in Gaiden because soldiers were kind of like halberdiers, but they became knights. But yeah, we didn't get halberdiers until... I don't really think
that counts.
Yeah, we didn't really get we didn't get halberdiers until Tellius, and I wish they'd stick around a bit more. I like halberdiers. I think they're cool. I mean, come on, man, top Neff.
And that's part of the thing is that every you know, almost every Fire Emblem ROM hack I've played has you know, playable soldiers and halberdiers in it.
Darius, you old fuck! So you son of a bitch! You know what old people are like in Fire Emblem? Have you seen Jagan? Lovely animation right there.
Yes.
The maid class, I can see that being more niche, but they are cool. The butler and maid are a damn cool class. I like them. You know, they are like the perfect support class. Now let's get rid of this guy.
Indeed.
Well, let's try to get rid of this guy. But again, it all comes down to RNG. But he is a boss. He's not supposed to be easy.
Yeah. I don't recall ever having this as much trouble
grinding
with this boss. Well, okay, that is fair.
I mean, this helps too. This helps too.
I walked straight into that one.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny because Halberdiers and Tellius weren't even good. Sorry to bust your bubble, but Halberdiers and Tellius, they don't get... the best is Nephany, and she's mid.
I know.
And then
They were a little
Dawn
better in
Nephany.
Radiant Dawn because they had a little bit of a crit boost, but
Well,
you know,
that's the
even
thing.
then...
That's the thing, in Radiant Dawn, the best you got was Nephany, who was still a mid-tier unit in Radiant Dawn. In Path of Radiant, she's just straight up bad. Devdan isn't much better. And in Radiant Dawn, Aaron's bad. Devdan, if his availability better, he'd be alright, but he's just slightly worse Nephany. So, yeah, unfortunately, in Thingamajig, Halberdiers are just not... Technically, they're not good. Technically. But again, it's Path of Radiant to Radiant Dawn. You can work around it. We've seen so many people take Neph to the tower. Hell, that's why most people associate the Wishblade with her, even though it's better used on units like Tanith. Oh, fuck off. Well, that happened.
At least you get a cool critical hit animation, but...
Yes, I do, but fuck, that happened. Sniper crit boost. But no, yeah, I was saying, yeah, if a class has that weapon locked thingamajig, then, you know, crit boost is ideal. If they're going to be weapon locked, it makes it so that the weapons are at the very least deadly. Yeah, he's a tank, but, well, okay, he's a tank if you can get his stats up to par with the rest of the enemies. And that takes a while because it's like, he's a tank. Yeah, try having him tank when you first get him. Not much of a tank. He really ain't much of a tank. He just kind of exists, unfortunately.
Truth be told, if I'm going back and playing Radiant Dawn, I probably will train up Aaron in spite of everything, just because...
I've used him. He's again, if you can get him to the right level, he can be a lot of fun to use, and he can really help you in part 3, because he's a legitimate tank, but until that time, oh boy. Like, oh my god, Radiant Dawn Lunatic Aaron is... No. No! Oh, just no. That was the fucking worst. Anyway. Yeah, Oboro's really good. Straight up, Oboro's great. Absolutely. It's just Intellius, despite them debuting there, technically Halberdiers are not very good, but that's, you know, that's Intellius. Huh, interesting. So for her, humans consider her an elf, elf consider her as a human.
Pretty much, yeah.
I know how that feels. It's both funny and not funny.
I mean, I'm more so laughing at the idea of, you know, you can relate.
Yeah, no, I can relate. I can relate. It's just at the same time when you really think into it, it's like, oh shit, this is actually kind of sad. But yeah. I don't want to go unless you ask me directly. I'm not going to explain what I mean. But it's not just me. Okay, it goes for all my kind, if you will. Well, yeah, true. Bishops don't really exist anymore. But I mean, Warmark and War Cleric are still a pretty cool class. But yeah. So at least
they're
they got
fine enough
substitute.
classes. I don't necessarily prefer them because I'm not always a huge fan of hybrid attacking units.
Yeah, which it totally makes sense. And even then, you have to have the right build to run it. Because like, as much as I like War Cleric Lissa, unless you get Strength Blessed, War Cleric Lissa is shit.
Mm-hmm.
But you know,
better
it's
off
like,
promoting to Sage.
Yeah, but some can run it. I mean, like, you know, Balthus can run it because he can do mixed build and stuff like that. The Dark Mages are going extinct. They're not going extinct. It's just for some reason. Again, I don't know. No, we've had Dark Mages. Did Engage have Dark Mages, or were they just mages in general, just generic mages? I can't remember.
Oh, I don't think Engage had any dark magic per se.
Yeah, it was weird.
Let me look that up.
Because I know there were like dark magic tomes. I think Veil might have been one, but even then, she wasn't really a dark mage. Hubert's not an Engage. And even then, dark mage in 3 houses, that's a class thing, not a character specific thing. And even then, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say there technically are like what are supposed to be dark magic tomes. I remember that. I think that I think that Veil had one.
Yeah, Veil did have one.
Okay.
Speaking of Dark Mage. Oh. Nope. So speaking of Dark Mage, nothing. Let me stand here.
The boss does have Defiant res, so his resistance goes up.
Not enough for me, though.
Low HP. That don't matter to Willow.
Yeah. Willow gonna kick your ass! Whee! See what I mean? And level up. Oh, oh god, she's nearly capped him. She's nearly capped him. And we got an up seal, so we can promote any unit. Hoorah.
Yes.
We're gonna hold on to that just in case we run out of like other promotion items. So let me see. Right, that's all done. Yep. No other conversations left, I don't think. So we can just conquer. No, we'll conquer the next time. Darius has already moved. Sorry, Darius the Conqueror needs a minute. Anyway, right, just take a... Alright, so I'm just going to take a quick drink and I'll see you in a sec. Oh, that's one of the things that's always fascinating about Fire Emblem, how the class system works in each game. And how the game is built around that. Like, if reclassing existed in Radiant Dawn, oh my...
I remember that...
Go ahead.
Because I remember that in the original Mystery of the Emblem, that was technically the first game to introduce the Berserker class, but the Berserker class in that game was nothing like what we know it as nowadays.
Wait, new Mystery of the Emblem or new Mystery of the Emblem? Because I know
old Mystery of the Emblem.
Yeah, it probably was because of more than likely was.
Yeah, because the Berserkers in old Mystery of the Emblem, they wielded swords. And they weren't even like meant to be, what we think of as berserkers. They were just meant to be like a reskin of a different kind of class.
Interesting.
I think.
Yeah, classes in Fire Emblem are always an interesting case. I mean, look at Dread Fighters. Again, they were so cool in the 3DS era, and then Fiend got rid of them. It's like, fuck, man, I like Dread Fighters. That would have been
Mortal Savant fulfills a similar role, but it's not quite the same.
It's not quite the same, because Dread Fighter was more about being uber fast and also having amazing, res. Mortal Savant is more so doing the whole hybrid build. It's like, I can hit hard, fast, and use magic, but I'm not as fast as a Sword Master or a True Blade. And I don't hit as hard as a True Blade, but at least I can hit you magically. Hello, Novagun, good to see you.
Alright. So this scene has Ulysses essentially passing leadership of over to Darius officially.
How comes I'm the leader? You're the one with the blue hair. Contractual obligation, dude.
Yeah, I mean the actual reason he gives is that Darius helped them become officially get knighted and help them make their fortune. So
so obviously he's like, I see a good future in you, kid.
Fortunately, this moment of triumph is about to get slipped out from under us.
Yeah. It's funny, I know it's just meant to be her thing, but it looks like she has no pupils. Because they kind of blend in with her skin.
They do kind of blend in, but they are a distinct enough color that
they're more so purple, but it does kind of blend in when everything's moving so quickly, with all the blinking. It's just it does make her feel like some sort of zombie wraith, but it gives her a unique identity, very much her own. Yeah, so it's like, you're a thief, yet you decide to fight with us. Where's the chivalry come from?
Yeah, Viper ends up developing a bit of a crush on Darius.
Oh my god! It's like, my skin is blue, your hair is blue. Oh!
Yeah, she becomes kind of the Katria type character who has feelings for the main lord, but can't really act on them.
To be fair, nothing in this. To be fair, it's like, would you consider me lord? Well, there's this other princess over there. It's like, oh fuck, She's a princess. I ain't got no chance. I mean, same situation with Shida. I mean, Katria and Shida, obviously personality-wise they're different, but they're both blue-haired white wings. What's the difference between one of them? One's a princess, the other's not.
Nintendo, the Golgothi do not have blue blood. They bleed red like everybody else.
Yeah, if it bleeds, we can kill it. It's funny, she's quite the, she's quite the light-hearted thief, which I quite like, because a lot of thieves in Fire Emblem, they're either really wacky or really, like, really, like, stoic and almost, distant, phantom-like. Not a lot of them are just kind of, not uber wacky, but just kind of chill, cool type thing. Oh yeah, well, again, and everyone condemns Abel for it. It's like, you married Est? Are you fucking kidding me? Pala's right there and you married Est, you fucking idiot. You deserve to die, Abel.
Yeah. And unfortunately, things are about to go south for us real quickly.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch! It's like, for fuck's sake, you couldn't even wait to defeat us. You had to go stick your dick in another woman unconsentingly. You piece of shit.
Yeah, Sula has a bit of a hate boner for Yearn, and he transfers those feelings over to anybody who's like even remotely connected to them. God. So
well, massive xenophobe right there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Again, he's just
we'll actually learn a little bit more about why he behaves the way he does. But it's still one of those things like. I mean, Yearn is under the control of an asshole king, but it's one of the things where it's like, he's being completely out of line.
Yeah, well, it's like this is what would happen if Fire Emblem Fates was rated 18 and you got that conquest scene.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's one of those things where they won, they're taking over, but Darius is also ultimately powerless to stop them because he's not the general. That guy is.
Mm-hmm. I would also like to point out that Sula here is the man that Polonius considers worthy of being in charge of his army. So, so make of that what you will.
Yeah. And obviously he's doing the whole thing. It's like their side of the enemy, they're just as guilty. Oh, fuck off.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. And again, obviously Darius is like, well, I literally can't fight back. I'm not strong enough. Because at least, in Fates, that you could make the argument, why didn't Corrin and Camilla just fight back? At that point, they probably could have taken Hans. Here, it's like, no, we'd be fucked.
Yeah. Sula pulls the, I outrank you, therefore you can't do anything about it.
Well, it's not just outranking, he'd beat the shit out of him.
But luckily, Oratorius steps in to help Darius out.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's now use your head and stuff like that. There is, there are workarounds.
And what Oratorius does is he convinces Darius to tell Sula, the king wants us to capture the city, not burn it down.
Yeah.
And he is able to convince Sula that way. So, unlike Corrin, Darius actually learns his lessons.
Well, also, it doesn't help the fact that this is what Garen wanted. In the case of Corrin, this is what Garen wanted.
Yeah, exactly. I think this scene also does, kind of highlight the sort of person that Darius is that, Darius is all good and well with, fighting and killing people, but he's very against civilians getting caught in the crossfire because he's had that happen to him, and I think it does speak to volumes as to the sort of person that he is.
Yeah, it's morals and stuff like that. Obviously, because of what he's been through, civilians should not be involved. They are defenseless, and soldiers and stuff, they are designed to protect civilians. If they're going to go out and so on, they know the risk of fighting, and they know it's kill or be killed. But the civilians, they have nothing to do with this, and they don't stand a chance. So don't do it. Yeah. Also, hell, the civilians, most of the time, what beef would you have with them?
I know. Well, we'll see more about this later on, but Sula's one of those people, like, he has not legitimate but understandable, like kind of understandable reasons, like why he feels compelled to, you know,
Yeah.
broad brush anybody who's connected to urine as just bad.
Okay, so so it's a case of, let me rephrase this. You don't agree with him, but you see where he's coming from.
Like, you can at least understand
Why he would do
how
this.
he got to the point that he's at.
Well, again, it's like Thanos. Thanos is so wrong for what he's doing, but you get why he thinks he's right.
Yeah.
That's the key. And that's good writing. You don't have to agree, but as long as you get their line of thinking, that's what's fine. If the character's line of thinking is incongruent with, you know, how they've been built up and so on, then even though they do awful things, you don't have to agree with what they do, but at least that's a sign of a well-written character. Not necessarily a likable character, but a well-written one. Again, as long as their line of thought is consistently appropriate, that's fine. Not their actions, but in terms of them as a well-written character. Oh yeah, Thanos is one of the best villains we've had in recent years, or the MCU's version of Thanos, because Thanos has existed for time, but the MCU version of Thanos was, wow. Everybody loved that dude.
And so many of his quotes have become iconic, you know,
Yeah.
and I think for good reason.
Well, they're very wise. Hell, one of his quotes helped me get through one of the hardest times in my life.
Dread it, run from it, destiny arrives all the same.
Not that one, but that is a great quote. No, my one was actually from Endgame, where he has less quotes, but some good ones regardless. Yeah. How did it go again? It's like, as long as there are those who remember what was, there will always be those who are unable to accept what can be. Oh yeah, Josh Brolin fucking nailed it. He's also Cable.
And he's also in the Dune movies.
Oh right, yeah, I've not seen any of them. So is Dave Bautista.
Oh yes.
Tracks.
You should see the Dune movies. They're really fucking good.
I've heard they're good. Dude, there's free. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that Dune Part 2 might have become a new personal favorite movie for mine. You know, especially the way it ends. The ending of that movie is like, oh, it's so good.
Is Dune only 2 movies, or is there going to be a third one?
Currently, it's only 2 movies. They are planning on making Dune Messiah into its own thing.
Okay, is Dune Messiah like a prequel spin-off type thing?
It's the sequel to the original Dune novel.
Okay, so the 2 movies are just the first Dune novel, split into 2. Got it.
Exactly.
Alright, cool. Good to know, because I didn't know Dune was I knew Dune was like kind of a long book-ish, but I didn't know how long. It's good to know also these villains aren't just comically over-the-top evil. Yeah, apparently they've got super fire.
Yeah. So it's what he calls dragon oil. It's based off of there's a substance in the Game of Thrones universe called wildfire, which is based off of a real world substance called Greek fire, which basically it's a flammable chemical that can cause fire to burn on the surface of water, among other things. And basically, Sula has placed he has placed deposits of dragon oil around the city, and he's basically telling Darius, you know, if you get in trouble here, you know, feel free to set those off and blow the city up. And Darius is like, Darius doesn't want to do it, but
it's a contingency plan.
Yes. Unfortunately, Darius is not familiar with the concept of Chekhov's gun.
In Fire Emblem, what's a gun? No, could you imagine giving oh god. To be fair, I think Fire Emblem with guns would be hilarious if you give it to the right person. Give Caspar a rocket launcher, see how that goes. Give Shamir a sniper rifle. Literally, you don't have to... there's not even a war.
I mean, crossbows are technically a kind of gun, but
Yeah, but obviously they're not
like
the
in
same
the
as a
loosest
full
sense.
caliber assault rifle.
Yes.
And now I know there's
Yeah.
that thing in Fire Emblem Heroes, the gun that summons you. Imagine you use that as a weapon. You fire the gun, out pops Camilla, and she just smashes into you. You have human projectiles. To be fair though, a human projectile would fucking hurt.
That it would.
Yeah.
Although it would also hurt the human projectile.
Yeah, it would probably kill you both, especially if you shot at like speeds of a bullet. That would kill you both. You just rip right through the person.
Nintendo saying give Bernadette a minigun. Ooh, that's a art idea for Lucky. I should tell her about that.
Get out my room. It's the get out my room gun.
Yes.
I mean, to be fair, no, it's funny. It's like we don't have guns in Fire Emblem, but we do have tactical nukes. It's like, Garfitz, how did you go from magic to tactical nuke? To be fair, the weapons in Fodland are, especially because of the hero's relics, they are quite majestical. I mean, for God's sake, man, Nemesis has a whip sword, and the Belmonts are like, oi! Ah. I don't agree with your religious views. You must die.
Yep. That's Enobarbus in a nutshell.
Yeah, but no, Darius brings up a good point. It's like, look, there's multiple gods, and you really think an omnipotent being is going to get so worked up about the fact that we don't pray to him, even though there's so many people that do?
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, Enobarbus is not smart enough to be that nuanced. Unfortunately, Enobarbus decides to
Manipulate the masses.
Yes, gets the people of Iber to turn against Darius.
Yeah. Hey, this guy's clever. Scumbag, but he's clever. Then again, clever and scumbag usually go together. And obviously Darius doesn't look that great to the people because he just conquered them. Even though it was, good intentions.
Well, Darius does make a point to, like, try to help the people, out the people, sort of behind Sula's back.
Yeah. But there's only so much he can do, and the damage has already kind of been done.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And Sula kind of effed things up so bad that, they aren't so willing to forgive.
Yeah. Again, literally, right as he arrived, oh yeah, we've raped a couple of women. The fuck?
Yeah.
God, you know what? We were talking about George Carlin. This proves one of the jokes he made. This just proves it. More people have died in the name of God than any other cause. Do you believe in God? No? Bang! Dead. Do you believe in God? Yes. Do you believe in my God? No? Bang! Dead. This just proves it. So what do you think of religion? I think this way. You disagreed with me. Wrong answer. Die.
And I hate people like that, which is, exactly why Enobarbus is written the way he is.
Well, it's extreme religious fundamentalism. It's like anything. When taken to an extreme, it's fucking terrible. Religion is a beautiful thing. I myself am religious, but people take it, and that's why you get religious fundamentalists. They take it to such an extreme, think of it as law, and it's the only way in life, that the moment someone opposes, not even opposes, just doesn't see things the way they do, they feel like they must be purged from this life, and that's how you get wars started.
I mean, we talked about the whole principle of the larger a fandom is, the worse it is generally. And And religion kind of works on the same principle. It is a fandom of sorts.
Well, yeah, it is, essentially, in a loose sense, but it's just one of those things. It's really unfortunate that they get put in this bad light. Of course, religion is bigger than any fandom ever. That's a fact. But it's just one of those unfortunate things that religion, unfortunately, has had those awful periods in history. And even these days, it's still a contentious thing because some people still do those awful practices. Whereas, religion is, if you look at any religious text, they're meant to all be primarily good. They're meant to be like, a scripture. They're meant to be. They're meant to be not a guide, but more so. They're supposed to instill values in you to carry through life to be good and virtuous.
They're meant to be codes on how you live your life.
Yeah, but people often take them too seriously or misconstrue them to validate their own sick, twisted desires. Yeah. All right, so we can't let Thingy catch up to us.
Yes. That's basically letting us know that there's a turn limit for this chapter. Interesting.
So that's like I'm going to be using mostly mounted units, or those who can get quick kills.
Yeah, this is a chapter where the
right, so the
objective is kill boss.
All right, gotcha. So we can. What class is the boss? So I know about the correct weapons. The boss is.
He is a Dark Knight.
Gotcha. Gotcha. All right, so it's good to know that. All right, so he's a mounted unit. So yeah. So there's a treasure chest. Cool.
Yeah. So for talk conversations this chapter, Darius and Persephone have one, and Crixus and Demetria have one. And for boss conversations, Darius has one, and Crixus has one with the boss.
Right. So Crixus, I'm gonna bring Winnahair because I'm probably gonna need some insurance. Bring you instead. So yeah. Oh, we can only bring one more. Fire is still going to be quite useful because even though this is an escape map, there's a good amount of there's a good amount of people here that might need a tank. Just have a look. Do we need the thief? I mean, she has the 4 times attack and she can break this one chest. Let me check if there's anything worth stealing. Let me have a look.
There is a Draco shield on, I think it's the halberdier that's guarding the chest.
Gotcha.
I think that might be it. I will say that that halberdier may have so much speed that Viper may not be able to steal it from him unless you give her a couple levels.
Yeah, he's got 16 speed.
Yeah. So she'll need at least 1 point of speed if she wants to get it.
Oh, this guy's got a guiding ring. All right, fair enough. So I don't know if I'll need Viper. I've got a chest key, and that being said, Viper's still very strong. She's got quad weapon. So she's still strong, so there's definitely reason to bring her. I'm just thinking about who to drop, because I want to bring... Who's it I want to bring? There's Faraz. Well, Faraz actually got plenty of levels. Will I drop her for this one? I'm only thinking because she's got 5 move, and she can do just fine. She's also got 11 speed. And she's got a bow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. There are so many good examples in fiction of religious extremists. You've seen them plenty of times. You've seen them in Fire Emblem. You've seen them in Xenoblade. You've seen them in Disney. You've seen them everywhere. Religious extremists done poorly and stuff. Religious extremists in fiction. You've seen them everywhere. Hey, Jeppo, good to see you. Right, I'm just thinking. Yeah, Castor's still fine. Who do I want to drop for this?
I do think that there are... I think that there will be a couple of wyverns that show up near at some point as reinforcements.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Then I will take that. I'll take that sword. Thank you very much. Good to know. Anything else I'm missing?
You're going all in. You're going all in with swords on her.
Yeah. Well, again, I feel like given her bulk and all the thing, I don't really need to heal. And if I need to heal, I can use thingamajig. Yeah. Again, if I want to heal the healers, I'll use a different healer. Yeah, mend, and we got sleep.
Well, she can use... Winnahair can use tomes, remember, and she arguably has a better magic stat.
I completely forgot she could use tomes. Thank you for letting me know. Does anyone... Hey, you got any spare tomes?
spare tomes, ma'am?
You got some spare tomes, man? Like gosh, like Zoic School, we need the spare tomes, man. Uh-oh.
I love how you got a Shaggy impression from my Squidward impression.
Hey, it's funny what kind of things you'll pick up on how you interpret it. Like Zoic Scoob! We still don't have a light magic user yet, but then again, I could promote Finger, who probably use light magic, but yeah. Right,
I admittedly got rid of the monk class because I've never really liked the monks in Fire Emblem. Although I do like using Lucius.
Oh, Lucius! Well, Lucius is fucking crazy.
Yeah. So you have 12 turns to get out of here.
Okay, 12 turns.
And in early versions of this hack, the time limit really didn't work correctly because I just didn't know how to handle making the game go into game over when the time limit went up.
Okay.
Funnily enough, Armory, it was looking at your Infernal Blade, looking through looking through it in FE Builder that actually taught me how to do it correctly. Armory, so I think that there was a chapter in Infernal Blade that had, I think, a time limit where there was supposed to be a thing that failed, and what you have to do in order to get that to work is you have to have a command that says show game over screen in order to do that. I didn't know that for most of working on this project, so I didn't learn it until I started looking through the actual behind the scenes of Infernal Blade.
So was it kind of like an 11th hour thing?
Sort of. Like Armory and I, we started talking about me helping him write the script for his hack. It was pretty late into, I want to say it was like as I was working on the second to last update of this project.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was kind of late in the game.
Okay, cool.
I had a lot of instances of that where people ended up teaching me about important things that helped make the thing better late into the project, where I had to go back and rebalance some stuff in order to implement them.
Yeah, now it's like, so what's this about Dragon Scales? Yeah. This port's already
Dragon
promoted?
Oil.
No, not in the end. He's not promoted. I think that's just his overworld sprite.
Yeah, his overworld sprite's a little different from the traditional fighter overworld sprite.
Yeah, because again, I assume because like the spiked shoulder type things, you'd think he's like promoted. Yeah, so this fire is very dangerous. Once it starts, it ain't stopping.
Yes.
So, is the dragon oil actually from dragons, or is it some other substance?
I don't. It's meant to be like Greek fire.
Okay.
I think Sula has a throwaway line of dialogue where he says it's a chemical created through alchemy.
Oh right, yeah. It's not actual dragon stuff, but it sounds scarier that way.
Yeah. Which alchemy in this world is essentially the marriage of science and magic.
Yeah.
Whereas alchemy in the real world is just plain pseudoscience.
Yeah. And in Full Metal Alchemist, it's everything. Alright, there you go. So yeah, 12 turns. Shouldn't be too difficult. It's pretty straightforward in which direction I have to approach from and all that jazz.
I can't imagine it being that difficult for you.
Hopefully not. Let's just see how things go.
Yeah.
Alright.
A note about the scimitar here, which replaces the Shamshir from Vanilla. It has 50 crit innately, because it's always driven me nuts whenever Fire Emblem does stuff like the Wo Dao or the Vanilla Shamshir, where it's basically just
A weaker killing edge.
Killing edge with slightly more crit and worse stats.
Yeah.
That only sword masters can use for some reason. So I gave it a big crit boost.
Yeah. That was a no-no.
To make it.
What the? Oh, I meant to hit the other dude. My bad.
The other dude had a Lance Reaver, so it wouldn't have necessarily worked out for you.
Okay, fair enough. Because again, he's got a Lance Reaver, so I don't want to use the Axe Reaver. Let's just see what happens.
You can give the woe down to Braum and Radiant Dawn. That's interesting.
How exactly? Like, trade item?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Because Braum can't... Oh, wait, Braum. Oh, Braum. Yeah, because he can become... I think he become a sword general. And if he promotes fully, like Meg, I think he becomes like... No, he's an axe general, but I think he gets access to swords. Something like that.
I mean, he does, but...
Strange, isn't it? Strange, isn't it?
'Tis a bit odd, I would say.
Yeah. Explains why Meg can use swords. Yeah, I think because of the SS weapon rank, Meg is the only general that can use the Alondite, which hurts.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, nice. Get fucked.
I am surprised that you have a physics staff this early. I know how you got it,
Yeah.
because it was dropped by one of the enemies, but I don't think that was really intentional on my part.
Well, I appreciate the physics stuff. Physics is great. Miss can use it too? Alright. No, but I said general. I did say general specifically.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of sword units can use it, but general specifically, Meg is the only one.
Yeah, it's a sword exclusive to double S rank. Any class that can use double S rank swords. So
yeah. That or the Vegati. I mean, the Vegati actually hits harder than the Alondite, but it doesn't have 2 to 3 range, 1 to 2 range. But still,
exactly.
Man, that hit rate and that crit rate is just crazy.
Outrageous and crazy.
Yeah, in Sacred Stones, generals could use all 3. They're basically Great Knights on foot.
Yeah.
It's a little redundant, but I liked it.
Which unfortunately, because of their movement stat, they weren't as good as Great Knights, which is saying something.
But to be fair, Great Knights and Sacred Stones was shit, because they were 6 move as opposed to 7. Yeah, if you were a Cav and you went Great Knight, you lost 1 move, which is dumb.
That is very stupid.
Yeah, they had better stat caps and stuff like that, but it's like, it's GBA. The fuck do stat caps matter? Dumb. If they, again, most of the time now, Great Knights just keep the 7 move, which I'm fine with, but dropping by 1? Ugh. Why? I think the better question is, why? Anyway.
Armory Generals are Lewis's favorite class, even though objectively they're pretty bad in a lot of games. Yeah,
again, they've got, they're more consistent than Archers. I mean, the 2 worst classes overall are either Archer or General. But again, they are game dependent, but Generals are more so statistically bad, whereas Archers flip-flop. Like, for example, Generals are just generally not that good, whereas Archers can be amazing in one game and dog shit in the other. Generals are never top tier, let me say that. They're never top tier. They've been good in some games, they're great, they're really good in Fates. Fates, Generals, they'll kick your ass. But other games, nah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, I think that with Archers, how good they are as a class depends almost entirely on like
the game's mechanics.
The mechanics behind bows
for
the game. Because like, I mean, to some, I mean, there are exceptions. Like, Fates Archers are a little bit better, but that's mostly just because.
Yeah, it's a pretty damn strong one.
It's mostly just to Takumi, who even then isn't, the best unit in the game.
No, but even then, Reyna's one of the best units, and she's way better than Takumi. I know, people don't want to believe it, but she's way better than Takumi. It's just one of those things. But remember, this is all from like the whole objective point of view. You can use whoever the hell you want. I've used generals plenty of times. The funny thing about generals is, while their class isn't good, stat-wise they tend to be some of the better FE units, but as Thing will say, unless it's a specific game, max stats don't matter too much. Like, the only time max stats matter is like Radiant Dawn and New Mystery, and in Radiant Dawn, generals have bad caps, so that throws out the window anyway.
Yeah. I mean, Gatry's still, you know, a damn good unit.
Oh yeah, he's one of the best Grail mercenaries, but I've done this before. He's great up until the tower. Then his cap's just like, yeah, no, he falls off big time. It's really unfortunate.
Yeah.
Barth, yeah, but what, FE6 Barth. Barth is funny in FE6. If you're going to use a knight in FE6, Barth is the best choice. We're saying Gatry from Radiant Dawn. But Barth in FE6, he's the blue general, the blue knight that comes alongside Wendy. He is built like a knight. He's got some good bases, but because he's built like a knight, his speed and his res are fucking atrocious. So by late game, the enemies will start breaking his legs. But in terms of like early game muscle, he's pretty good. Yeah, Oswin is probably one of the best knights ever. But again, like, he's one of the best knights, but it doesn't mean he's one of the best units in the game. He's just a really damn good knight. Mm-hmm. And Effie as well. Effie's an amazing knight, but not one of the best units in the game because, well, just knights in general are not that great. But it is what it is.
I've seen some videos from people who they argue that you know, even if knights didn't have their movement gimped compared to other classes, they still wouldn't be all that great just because of...
Depends on the game. Really does depend on the game. Because sometimes it's not the movement. Like, oh, take a quick break and see in a sec. We'll get back. We'll discuss it when we get back. But like, one of the best examples is Fates, where the movement doesn't really matter. It's their stats paired with their wary fighter skill, which make them so good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, because
although,
like
honestly,
in Binding Blades. Sorry. Go ahead.
I have never liked wary fighter as a skill, like because the thing is that when wary fighter on your units, like it only works if the knight in question has bad speed,
which most of them do.
But which, you know, most of them do. But Effie actually has pretty decent speed, so I don't want her to lose her ability to double. And then on enemies, it can make, because of how bulky some enemy units in Conquest are, you know, I don't like you know, I don't like dealing with that skill because it makes them so damn hard to kill.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword. I mean, that's the thing.
Or at least more annoying.
Wary fight is only a good skill for the general class. You put it on any other class, it's dog shit. But no, for generals it works because they're naturally very slow. So, you know, stuff like that. What about Gilbert Dedu as generals? They're good. Dedu's pretty cool. Then again, also Free Houses is weird, you know. But Dedu definitely fits the general build, and he's good as one. He is definitely good. But again,
I cannot stand Fortress Knights in Three Houses. They're slow. They're slow. They're inaccurate, and their movement is terrible.
The movement is terrible, and they are very slow. But in terms of bulk, holy fuck nuggets, man! Physical bulk, I should stress. Magically, they'll die to anything. But no, in terms of physical bulk, you can't get much better in Free House. But that's why War Master exists, or Great Knight, to help them in those other departments. All right, see you later, Matt.
All right. Take care, Matt.
Yeah, but no, generals, again, it does depend on the game and a lot what's built around it. But also, we're talking about a high level because sometimes generals are useful. When playing casually, generals can be really useful, as I've shown. Because like I've said, generals tend to have, and knights tend to have pretty good stats, and they get some insane promotion bonuses. Bro, Wendy's promotion bonuses? Hold on a minute. Hold up. I've got to stop this. Right, give us a minute. Wrong thing. I'll see you in a sec, but hold up, right now, hold up.
A few moments later.
Right, so here we go. Right, so here's what I'm talking about. Boom. So we've got Alan. When he becomes paladin, he gets +3, and mostly +2s. Okay, kind of standard promotion bonuses. 3, +2 across the board. Go to Deke. His is like 2 +4s, mostly a couple of +2s and some +1s. Some really high ones, some low ones. Alright, fair enough. It's a bit of a mixed thing. Lalina, Mostly +3s, a couple of 1s, and a 2. So again, mostly good bonuses, pretty generous. What does Wendy get? +4, +4, +4, +3, +3, +2, and +1. She gets 3 +4 bonuses upon promotion. Fuck yeah. Again,
And it's even higher in Project Ember.
Again, the promotion bonus, again, like I said, some of those generals get the nice numbers. God, you look at, see, here's the thing. If you look at this, and you look at Wendy's growth rate, 85 speed, again, 85 HP, 40 strength, 40 skill, 40 speed, 45 luck, 30 defense, and 10 res. Damn, that's a really good growth spread. What's this unit's basis like? Oh. You added +5 to all of those, she would have been so, that's probably what Project Ember did, +5 to everything.
Pretty much.
Oh, it doesn't help that obviously Knight in Binding Blade. Ugh. Yeah, it's a real shame with Wendy because like this point on, it's like, damn man, she's got some good growth and some amazing promo gains. Why her base is so shit? Why is her class awful for this game as well?
You know what else is kind of stupid? We were mentioning that Warlocks have the same movement stat as Fortress Knights in 3 houses.
Yep.
But Radiant Dawn did something similar where, for some bizarre reason, magic classes had the same movement as like knights and generals.
Well, that's because Radiant Dawn just hating magic classes.
I know, but it's still
stupid.
really silly.
Oh, it's very, very silly. Granted, movement doesn't mean much in Radiant Dawn, but it's still silly because again, like mages kind of need to get to the front line to hit people, but then they can barely move. What's the point? They could barely kill anyone. I don't know what the devs were on, but man, they must have fucking hated the thingy class so bad in Radiant Dawn.
And so we have Crickless and Demetrius
Conversation
talk here.
Yeah. Burrs the Butcher. Or is it Burrs or Burris?
Burris.
That's the thing. The thing about Gareth is his stats are actually really good, just not for the point in the game where you're at. If Gareth was in any of the earlier maps, if he was in Zelgis's map, he would have fucking destroyed it. Because physically, he's amazing, and he has Blood type, which is an amazing skill. It's just that the rest of the enemies for the rest of the game are magic based. That's the only problem with Gareth.
Pretty much.
Came in at the wrong time. So with the engaged knights, Lewis and Jade, I'm gonna use them on my second run just because I started on maddening. It's like, sorry, I ain't got time for this. I like you, but I'm playing on maddening. I can't do this. To be fair, I used Great Knight Goldmary, which was like a variation of that, and she was amazing.
I used Jade in my first playthrough of Engage, and I hated using her up until I got Hector's Ring.
Oh, Hector's Ring is busted on like a defensive unit. Again, Goldmary, Hector's Ring, holy shit pickles. Fucking, what was it? Quick Riposte.
Mm-hmm. I really like this talk between Crixus and Demetria because it helps to really like explain like not only gives us information about the boss that we're gonna fight, but also really helps explain like why Crixus is the way he is to some extent.
Yeah, so you could, as it shows here, it's like, you've seen the path they go down, and it was encouraged in the army, and that's awful. Yeah, so all he knows is fighting and killing, but depending on, like, who you associate with, that can lead you down a very different path.
Yeah, I thought of Crixus as kind of like the character where, yeah, he's kind of rude and abrasive, but he does care for his friends in his own little way, you know. He does try, you know, he is abrasive, but it's partially because he wants to push them to get stronger. Mm-hmm. You know, and I think that does shine through in like his support conversations with Castor, to some extent his support with Ulysses.
Yeah, it's like, you're a better man than you give credit for. Not like you have to compliment me or anything, baka. Oh, again, I can't wait to promote her and watch her just wreck shit. Alright, let me just check what they've
Demetria,
got.
Demetria is very powerful once she promotes.
Motherfucker's got a hammer. That's bad. Well, no, I could put you down here, though.
I'm planning on throwing Farah at the problem. Stop! Hammer time!
Yeah, no, it's again. The hammer's definitely not gonna... The hammer's not a good thing in this case. Because, again, the super effective damage. Like, yeah, but Farah's really bulky. Yeah, but super effective damage, man. That block don't mean shit if it's doing 4 times the damage. Now, this is funny.
3 times, but
Yeah.
who's counting?
Oh, you're adorable. Oh, here come the cavalry. Literally, the cavalry's here. Oh, right, he's got a bow. I keep forgetting.
Yes. 1 to 3 range, or 2 to 3 range on normal bows.
Rider's Bane. I still would have survived, but yeah. And now you're dead. Get fucked.
Excuse me.
No problem. Oh, the enemy, yeah. Yeah, I love it when it's like, the knight's like, die! And the first like, get the knights! Oh, you're adorable.
It's especially hilarious in this hack where you maybe have like a myrmidon or a thief that has a dagger as a weapon, and and you can just play the standing here I realize meme when they attack a knight. That shit is funny.
Yeah, never gets old. Right, there's a halberdier over here. I need to like build a blockade and just get rid of you lot. What about you? How much damage can I do to you? A good amount, but not lots.
Good amount, but you can't kill.
No, I cannot kill him, and that is a shame. I can javelin, though. Yeah, there we go. He's got that thing where his weapon triangle hit rates get boosted at both advantage and disadvantage, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Triangle Master.
Yeah, so that's why, even with a javelin, I got a really good hit rate. Which I appreciate. Now let's get rid of you.
I am noticing that 12 seems to be the number of your unit's general speed for a lot of your characters.
Magic number 12.
It would be a magic number, except it's too slow to let you double things.
Unfortunately. What's got the higher crit rate? This one does. Alright.
The scimitar has a higher crit rate.
You know, we haven't seen the scimitar actually pop off yet. For fuck's sake, scimitar, come on.
One of the big problems with the Myrmidon class in general is that their damage can sometimes be very dependent on crits.
Yeah, they're kind of crit dependent. But then again, if you get a Strength Blessed Myrmidon, you're in for a good time. I'll tell you, you are in for a good time. Let me just double check. None of them have, like, Rider's Banes. No. No. Okay, cool. How much move do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What? Yeah, alright, cool. Perfect. Edward is strength-based, isn't he? Wait, Edward in Radiant Dawn? I think he's got 60% strength growth, but he is also, if you're talking about he needs strength levels to be good, pretty much. Poor dude. Lunatic hates him. Like, Lunatic really fucking hates him.
I have never really been a fan of Edward, because you get Zyhark immediately, not very long into the pathway.
Yeah, Zyhark is just better. Oh, level up. Let's see what happens. Oh, more magic.
Dimitri is taking a page from Mr. Bean and getting a lot of magic.
Alright, there we go. Cool. Ah, level up for you too. That's all. Hey, all those numbers are going to help in the long run. Like so, I now have more strength, skill, and luck, and HP. All right, now for the rest of you. I'm curious. Can I? I can kill this dude, but I wonder. Oh, I can. Yeah, fuck it, get him. Go, Willow, go! Kill them all, Willow. Kill them all.
You are having a lot of fun with your green-haired little glass cannon elf girl.
She is very, very potent. Appreciate it. Right. Now, as for you, I've got. Oh, okay. To be fair, bro, you ain't even worth the claymore.
Claymore money, claymore problems.
Yeah. Green hair units for the win. Yeah, Nintendo and green hair. I know this is not an official Nintendo product. Don't tell them that. But, Nintendo and green hair just go well together. Palutena, Rhea, Numa, all that jazz. Nintendo and green hair, they make for a good pairing. I ship it.
Yeah, Armory Willow is kind of OP, but she does have bad defense.
She's very, very frail, but also I'm using the fuck out of her, so there's that. Let's smack her upside the head with a steel axe. That will do. Come on, steel axe. Land for me. Gotcha. Oh, now Resolve's going to kick in. Yeah, Nephany as well.
Purple.
Hey, look at that. We're past the magic number 12. Now we're on 13. Alright. Well, if I stand next to
All the
Darius...
better for it.
Yeah, if I stand next to Darius, at least I'll have... Oh, sweet Jesus.
Yeah, that's the problem with warriors, is that they are very dangerous.
Yeah, you're telling me. What the fuck? Hold on, you know what I need to do. Give us a minute. No, this is it. Let me hit him first with, yeah. This won't kill me. Actually, can I point blank him? I can. Good. This won't kill me. It will do 22. Yeah, alright, so cool. This should do it. Oh, the irony. I bet he's like, man, if you were one space away, I'd fuck your shit up. But alas.
The utility of crossbows is sometimes not as high as with like regular bows, just because they can't attack from 3 range. But they can attack from close range, you know, and that can come in handy sometimes.
Yeah. And we got the Berserk staff. Cool.
Status stabs are probably going to come in very handy for you in the next couple of chapters.
Indeedy so.
Because I will say that the next chapter might just be one of the harder ones.
Well, good thing I've got good units on standby, and I've got plenty of staffs to make use of. Hell, we're getting close to some units reaching their max level, so I imagine I might promote the next in the next maps.
Maybe. I could definitely see Willow getting her promotion.
Yeah, most certainly.
Pretty soon.
Just gotta hope we don't get killed by this magic user. We shall see. Oh, I thought... Oh, this god thought he was gonna crit. Now I have a bad feeling I'm gonna get hit. Oh yeah, that bow's gonna get me.
Yeah, those bow users have very high hit rate.
Well, let's just see what happens. Oh, didn't even need him. Fuck. Okay, well, I'm back here.
That's unfortunate.
That is unfortunate, but hold on. Let me just... Yeah, I've got it F3. So I'll get back to where I was and then get back to you all later. But anyway, so that's going to call it for now. Again, I'll just do the rest of them. I'll get back to where I was off screen, which is only like just a couple of movements. But yeah, so thank you all so much for tuning in today. Kind of a tragic end, but next time we'll progress through this and hopefully we'll get some units promoted. And there's some very interesting conversations we had about just life and so on. So thank you all so much for tuning in. Huge thank you once again to Zane for helping out. I very, very, very much appreciate it.
I appreciate being on here, although I will say, guys, next time, prepare for an interesting end to the chapter. That's all I will say.
Indeed so. And let's see. We were talking about Radiant Dawn, so why not? Someone's playing Radiant Dawn. Anyway, cool. Until then, tomorrow we've got more Crash Bandicoot Raffle Cortex. I hope you all look forward to that. Till then, thank you all very much for watching. I will see you all next time for Darius the Conqueror on Thursdays, and we'll see you soon. Until then, thank you ever so much. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.